here just a second. There you go. Whoa. A little too far this way. Okay. Well, everybody, I am YouTuber here, and we're going to set for NCAA Football 14 Dynasty mode. This is sort of episode 2, because we had if you had not seen episode 1, it hasn't been premiered yet. We'll see when it premieres. My channel here. It premieres on Friday, so as of this video is coming out, it'll be up on Friday. And it just basically is the conference realignment, conference change to the SEC conference. But also we run the Dynasty season with Oklahoma State, and all of those teams that I imported from Team Builder into the game. And I'll show you those teams in a minute. 3 of which are FBS teams that just updated their uniforms. But they got dudes that stay in its place. Basically, it was what it was. And I'll show you those 2 teams. Those 2 teams, I will mention them, but I'll show you those 2 teams' uniforms throughout the series of videos. One was Tulane, and the other was Georgia State. The only other one I inputted was OU, and that's for their alternate uniforms. So, to have their current alternate uniforms in the game in Dynasty mode. So, no change for Oklahoma State or Tulsa here. So let me go over to the conference look, and if you have not seen it, there's OU, number 1 in the Big 12, and then there's Oklahoma State, Texas, TCU, Kansas, Baylor, West Virginia, Texas Tech, Iowa State, and Kansas have not changed. The ACC has changed, and I'll show you just the ACC as a whole. You have Notre Dame, Clemson, Louisville, Florida State, Miami, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, NC State, Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh, and Duke, Virginia, Syracuse, Boston College, Wake Forest are in the ACC. So let's break it down for you even further in the ACC. You have in the the Atlantic side, you have Notre Dame, Clemson, Louisville, Florida State, NC State, Syracuse, Boston College, and Wake Forest. The coastal side of things is Miami, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh, Duke, and Virginia. Then you have the American Conference. There's no divisions there. You have Cincinnati, Navy, Houston, Temple, UCF, USF, SMU, that's UCF. I said, let's go back to the top. Cincinnati, UCF, Navy, Houston, Temple, USF, SMU, and Memphis. Alright, so we already covered the Big 12. Let's cover the Big 10. Big 10 the Big 10 in this Dynasty mode for my Dynasty mode series of videos. You have the Big 10, this is all of the Big 10 combined. The East and West, or what was known as the Legends and Leaders. I'll rename the conference divisions after next season, but you have Ohio State, Michigan, Nebraska, Northwestern, Wisconsin, Penn State, Michigan State, Rutgers, Iowa, Purdue, Illinois, Maryland, Minnesota, Indiana, let's break it down to the leaders, which is either the East or West. I can't remember what the leaders became. I don't know that became the West and the East. But that's broken down in Ohio State, Wisconsin, Penn State, Purdue, Illinois, Maryland, and Indiana. The leaders, or sorry, legends, that was leaders, this is legends. Michigan, Nebraska, Northwestern, Michigan State, Rutgers, Iowa, and Minnesota. Then you have Conference USA is East and West, so let's break it down. Conference USA, you have Louisiana Tech, ECU, Tulsa, Marshall, North Texas, Middle Tennessee State, Tulane, with their new outdoor stadium. It's not the actual outdoor stadium, it's a using a different team stadium, Middle Tennessee State. So if you see this game, if you see this, if you say, no, that's the same stadium as Middle Tennessee, it is. It just was used as Tulane's outdoor stadium and team builder. We have UTEP, Rice, Florida Atlantic, Southern Miss, FIU, and UAB. The reason why I use Tulane custom team is simply to get the outdoor stadium in the game, plus the new uniforms and logo on the side of the helmet. They changed the logo on the side of the helmet from that T in green wave to, well, you've seen it. It's the one that's in 2020 as well. It was the one they used. It's been they've been using that logo on their helmets since 2018. So let's break down the conferences. Say East is ECU, Marshall, Middle Tennessee State, Florida Atlantic, Southern Miss, FIU, and UAB. At Conference USA West, Louisiana Tech, Tulsa, North Texas, Tulane, UTEP, and Rice. Independents are Alabama, who was an SEC team, Florida, who was an SEC team, Auburn, who was an SEC team, Mississippi State, Army, UMass, Old Dominion, and BYU. So you have 8 independent teams. The MAC is as follows: Northern Illinois, Kent State, Ohio, Western Michigan, Bowling Green, Central Michigan, Toledo, Miami of Ohio, Ball State, Buffalo, Eastern Michigan. The Mountain West as a whole: Boise State, Utah State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Air Force, Nevada, San Jose State, Colorado State, Hawaii, Wyoming, UNLV, New Mexico. So let's break down the Mountain West. The Mountain is Boise State, Utah State, Air Force, Colorado State, Wyoming, and New Mexico. The Mountain West Fresno State, San Diego State, Nevada, San Jose State, Hawaii, and UNLV. Then you have the Pac-12. Let's look at it as a whole. You have Stanford, Oregon, UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona State, Washington, USC, Cal, Utah, Arizona, Washington State, Colorado, So let's break it down. Pac-12 South, UCLA, Arizona State, USC, Utah, Arizona, and Colorado. The Pac-12 North, Stanford, Oregon, Oregon State, Washington, California, and Washington State. Or Cal, if you will. The SEC as a whole is as follows. This is what I redid. If you had not seen the the video for the redone SEC, or the conference realignment video for the SEC for my Dynasty mode, check that out. Again, as I said, it premieres on Friday, so you can see which teams I kept and which teams I didn't keep, but you'll see it here as well as in this video. So it's kind of, I should have done this afterwards, but whatever. It'll be Texas A&M stays. So does Georgia, South Carolina, and LSU stay. Vanderbilt stays. Ole Miss stays. Arkansas stays. Now this is where it gets where you take out the teams and replace the teams. Tennessee out. Tennessee Tech in. Missouri out. Missouri State in. I can't remember who I replaced South Dakota State with. I think it was another team in another conference. I just took. I didn't replace any SEC team. I left them in the game. I just took them out of the conference. Then you have Eastern Kentucky, North Dakota State, Coastal Carolina, South Dakota, North Dakota, Appalachian State are in the SEC. This is the revised. I'm gonna delete that video and not have that one premiere. Let's see here. Actually, that premieres tomorrow, not Friday. Friday is Wheel of Fortune. So let me get rid of that. While I'm thinking of it. And delete. Since it hasn't premiered yet, I can do that. Okay, so this replaces the video for tomorrow, and also it serves as a replacement for tomorrow's video, and serves as a secondary video for today as well, since we already had a video, and that was Access Football 2018, Access Football 18, or Access Football 2018, whatever you want to say it, between Atlanta and Las Vegas, premiered today as well, earlier today. So, it's taken care of, so, because I had left some teams in that I hadn't left in the other video, so it would have been contradictory to it, considering the videos would have been, this video would have been for the other one, so. Let's break down the SEC East. We have Georgia, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Tennessee Tech, Missouri State, Eastern Kentucky, North Dakota State, and Coastal Carolina. The SEC West is A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, Arkansas, South Dakota State, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Appalachian State. The only ones that I wish I could have gone into this particular division is North Dakota State. I'll probably next year take North Dakota State and swap them with probably either probably Ole Miss, and have Ole Miss be in the SEC East and North Dakota State be in the SEC West. So that would only change between this season and next season. But we'll see if North Dakota State plays North Dakota, South Dakota State. I wonder if they play each other, even though it's a cross division game. It's still an SEC game this year. So, because it's always good to have these Dakota battles. But you definitely will get good matchups nonetheless. Sun Belt. I don't think there's a Sun Belt breakdown. Okay, no, there's not. Sun Belt's on one. Sun Belt had in real life has Coastal Carolina, but I put them in the SEC in my Dynasty mode. You have Louisiana Monroe, University of Louisiana Monroe, Western Kentucky, Louisiana Lafayette, now known as Louisiana, Troy, Texas State, South Alabama, and Georgia State. Georgia State's the other team that I put their other logo. I like this Panther logo here. This is from team management, team builder, and this gives them that have an outside stadium. They're also the one using Middle Tennessee State Stadium in the game. So that's the conference outlook for this year. We'll look at it each year to see to show you if I've changed anything or kept anything. We'll keep an eye on it. The reason why it says South Alabama 1-0, I simulated that game. I will show you that score in just a bit. Because we'll go into the scores and schedules. So this week's games you will feature on this channel in the next video will be Tulsa and Oklahoma State, Hawaii and USC, Utah State, Western Michigan State, Texas SMU, Texas Tech SMU, I mean. That one I'm debating on whether I show that one or not, since that's involving the Big 12 team. UMass Wisconsin will feature. Penn State Syracuse will feature. Ohio State Buffalo will feature. Michigan will feature since it's a Michigan battle. ECU Old Dominion will feature. That Toledo, Florida will feature. Cal Northwestern, Colorado State, Wyoming, Nebraska, North Dakota State, LSU, Georgia, Coastal Carolina, Iowa, Northern Illinois, Purdue, Cincinnati, Washington State, Auburn, Miami and Marshall, Ohio and Marshall, Troy and UAB, Boise State, Washington, Texas State and Southern Miss, NC State, Virginia, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Nevada, UCLA, Pittsburgh, Florida State are the ones we'll feature. People are asking, when is the big rivalry games? Alright, let's look at Alabama and Auburn, the Iron Bowl matchup. When will that be? Since now both those teams are independent. They can play anybody they want to. They don't have a conference schedules. It's still considered the Iron Bowl because I think it's a protected rivalry, so it should be in this game. in this particular season. Let's look at it here. They will play. There's that Auburn-Georgia game. It's a big game over here. It will be week 14. They'll be at Auburn. Okay. Now, the other game, Army-Navy, week 15. Army Air Force, week 10. Air Force Navy, week 6. Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, week 5. Appalachian State, Tennessee Tech, week 6. Appalachian State, North Dakota, week 10. Appalachian State, South Dakota, week 12. Appalachian State, South Dakota State, week 14. Alright. Now let's look at the Dakota battles. Battle for Dakota teams. Where you have the Dakota teams playing against each other. Oh, we missed one. Indiana and Purdue, week 14. Indiana Ohio State, week 13. Ohio State, Michigan State, Indiana, Michigan State, week 7. Now, before we go on to the North Dakotas, we'll talk about the Dakotas next. But before we do that, let's talk about the Ohio State-Michigan game. Week 14, Ohio State-Michigan. Also to note, Michigan-Nebraska will be week 11. Michigan-Iowa will be week 13. You got Michigan-South Dakota State week 8. Michigan-Wisconsin week 4. North Dakota and North Dakota State shall be, let's see here. North Dakota, South Dakota State will be week 11. That's one of them. North Dakota State, week 12, so back-to-back weeks. Okay, so that's North Dakota State, and North Dakota, South Dakota State. And North Dakota, South Dakota will be week 14. So like I said, week 12, North Dakota State, North Dakota, South Dakota State, and then the South Dakota State, and South Dakota State, North Dakota State, North Dakota State, South Dakota State will be it won't be on this in this one. Alright. That's okay. Then we have see that's yeah. So North Dakota State, South Dakota State, not gonna happen. But North Dakota State, North Dakota, and North Dakota State, and North Dakota and North Dakota State will take place in so not every year we have it, but we'll changes each year, so there'll be some games that don't happen every year, but we can have it in play now mode though. So now people are asking, oh, can you replace your 12 teams after this and still have it saved in Dynasty mode? And the answer is yes. Yeah, it can. So we'll show you that in a minute. So let me save this first before I do that. Okay, let me show you how you get. First of all, let me show you how you get the teams into Dynasty mode. So you're gonna go to you're gonna have to have teams from Game Management saved first off, and if you had not seen that video, be sure you check out that video. It's on my channel. To import a team, you're just gonna want to start a new Dynasty. Use an existing head coach. New offline Dynasty. Right here, it'll say import team builder. You're gonna import the teams there. You can choose any of your 12 teams. So you have up to 12 teams in your Manage My School that you can save up to. If you want to change that, I have South Dakota State, North Dakota State, North Dakota, Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, Eastern Kentucky, Missouri State, Oklahoma, Tulane, and Georgia State. All the ones that were in my Dynasty mode that I was doing earlier in the video are right here. They would be what you would call, and then you would change all the conference in the conference setup, where who's in what conference and conference rules and tie-ins, bowl tie-ins and stuff. To get those teams removed and add new teams, or to get the teams that you want into the Dynasty mode, up to 12. So you go here, and I have to limit. Well, I had 12, but I removed one. The reason why I did the removal of one, which was Tennessee Tech, is because I was trying to see if I removed that team from my schools, that it would still save that team in the game, in Dynasty mode. And the answer is yes, it did. So I can remove all these teams if I wanted to, and put in a different team and start a whole different Dynasty with those teams if I wanted to. But I'm not. I can remove these teams and put new teams in to do a play now mode game for my channel if I wanted to. So, how you get those teams? You can check the video out. It's the same thing. You're just going into searching schools and put it in. But I'll show if you want the more in-depth video on it. It's on the channel. Look for it. You can type in how to get team builder teams on YouTube, and my video and probably other YouTubers' videos should come up. It's really easy, and that's how I get. You have up to 12 teams. Once you get it into Dynasty, once you get those teams that you want into Dynasty mode, up to 12 teams. You can put up to 12 teams in Dynasty mode if you want. Unless you're one of the few that have already purchased it, added slots prior to that, then yes, you have up to 120 spaces to fill. I only have 12 since I didn't do that. Yeah, I can't now. So, once they're into Dynasty mode and you have saved the Dynasty mode, it should be into Dynasty mode, and where you don't have to worry about it being in your Manage My Schools area in Team Builder Team Management. It's in the Team Builder area the Team Management area under Team Builder. So the next video you're going to see on my channel, and I'm going to show you that what I'm saying is correct. As far as the logos and everything there for those teams, because you have let's see if any of them play week 1. I don't think they do. Oh, yeah, North Dakota. Well, that's not deleted on my team. It was Tennessee Tech, which plays week 2. So I'm gonna go narrow it down. Tennessee in this week 2. And there you have it. Tennessee Tech still in there. Their logo's still in there. I'm not gonna play because it will simulate week 1. But if I play it, it would still show you the uniforms field stain that they had that was used for that particular thing. The randomized players, the generic players, auto-generated players' names, auto-generated coach, meaning the head coach, offensive coordinator, defense coordinator. All that would be generic for every team's roster and coaches. Uniforms as a majority of them are as of when that team was modified in Team Builder, and as well as when that team was put into the game, when the game was made for like Washington, Georgia, and South Carolina. This was in South Dakota and Tennessee Tech and Missouri State, whereas the team was the roster was as of that, and same goes to the uniforms as well. So like it shows you the game preview and all that. LSU's record, all-time record, bowl record, conference championships, national championships. What was the most recent conference championship? What was the most recent national championship? Who are the rivals with? LSU has rivals with Arkansas, Alabama, Florida, and this Florida again. I don't know why it says Florida. But anywho, they won 3 national championships. The most recent 2007 national championship, 12 conference championship. Most recent 2011. 22-21-1 in the correction. I want to correct something, but in just a bit. They are 23-24 as this was as of the game's release. They have one more national championship that they've won in real life since this game was made, and that was last year. Not this past season's national championship that was run by Alabama, but the 2020 national championship was won by LSU. I don't know if they won conference championship in 2020 or not, but that's that. And then we have the fan base for this season, which is their record for the season, their regional record, their national record, their average attendance, the rankings where they ranked in the coaches and media and BCS. Then you have Missouri State, their all-time record. Since they're a new team, they have no all-time record, no bowl record, no conference championships, no national championships. One rival with Texas A&M, both being maroon and white schools, by the way. I want to point that out. Both being in the same conference, both being maroon and white. Then they're saying their streak of how many games they've won this season, how many games they won, how many games they lost, regional record, national record, average attendance, and then their coaches poll rankings, media rankings, BTS rankings, key entries, and LSU had that as well in the conference they're in. They should say SEC and then their division they're in too, but it doesn't. And then the record is always, if you're looking at team info, the record is always at the top next to the team name, like Missouri State and the record. And then you have the schedule without the bye weeks included for both teams. So let's talk LSU. So you have LSU plays North Dakota State, Missouri State, North Dakota, South Dakota, South Dakota State, Auburn, Florida, Mississippi, Appalachian State, Alabama, Texas A&M, and Arkansas. Missouri State plays LSU, Oklahoma State, University of Louisiana, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Florida State, or is that Fresno? It's either Florida State or Fresno State. I'll have to look at to double check on that. I think FS is it's either Fresno State or Florida State. You have Texas A&M, South Carolina, Texas Tech, Coastal Carolina. North Dakota State, and Eastern Kentucky. Yeah, CCU is Coastal Carolina. May ask what is FS? It's on Missouri State's schedule. Whoops, I passed it. It was in the M's. Fresno State. FS was Fresno State. And the rest I got right. Okay. So let's take a look at the state outlook for one state in particular, Oklahoma. So all our teams, there's 3 teams in the console there from the state of Oklahoma. Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State. Take a look at Oklahoma first, and then Oklahoma State, then Tulsa. For Oklahoma, their schedule, let me get back to the top. They have an off week, and they'll play Auburn, Oregon, North Texas, Kansas, TCU, West Virginia, Texas, Texas Tech, off week, Baylor, off week again, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, and then that's it. So, key game to note for them, Bedlam week 14. Bedlam is week 14 in the Red River Robbery. Key to note that one is when was it? Week 8. They play another Texas team in TCU week 6, North Texas in week 5. So and then they play Texas Tech week 9. And then they'll play Baylor week 11. And so that's for the Oklahoma against the state of Texas for the Sooners. For the Cowboys, which is the team I'm controlling, the main team I'm controlling, which is the main team I'm controlling, which is the main team I'm controlling in Dynasty mode, and that's my favorite team, is Oklahoma State Cowboys. Like again, I said Bedlam week 14, Baylor week 13, Texas week 12, Kansas week 11, week 10, Texas Tech week 9, Iowa State, TCU week 8, off week 7, Kansas State week 6, West Virginia week 5, Missouri State week 3, Boise State week 2, and Tulsa week 1. Those are the actual non-conference games for Oklahoma State's 2021 fall season schedule. Just in different order. It went Missouri State, Boise State, Tulsa, I think, or Missouri State, Tulsa, Boise State. The only one I couldn't get in week 1 was Missouri State. So, and then we'll play Missouri State again at Missouri State next season, and then we'll play Boise State and Stillwater next year, and then Tulsa at Tulsa next year. So that's the schedule will stay the same as far as non-conference opponents. So it may be in different order as far as the conference games are concerned with this year, but the non-conference maybe too, depending upon who's available that week. But as far as the teams I'm playing, we'll say the same between this year and next year for my main team, Oklahoma State. Provided that my coach doesn't get fired. Because I don't intend on leaving the program to go to another team. So. That's, you can play any game you want in any given week in NCAA Football 14 Dynasty mode. You just have to pick one main team to control, whether that's being a head coach, offense coordinator, or defense coordinator. I like being the head coach. I like selecting the head coach position because you get to control both sides of the ball and call offense and defensive plays in the game. So, and again, the reason why I chose Oklahoma State instead of any of the teams I've been put into the Dynasty mode. One, I've always done Oklahoma State as far as Dynasty mode, and two, that Oklahoma State's my favorite college football team. I like multiple college teams, but Oklahoma State is my main favorite. They're at the top of the list of the favorite college football teams, even though I have more than one favorite, but they're my main team that I like. So, should be interesting to see what happens. That's the game of the week. That's not what we'll have on my channel anyways. Not conference. Or conference. What name are you? So it could be cold, could be raining. It doesn't really matter. I don't know what the weather is going to be like for those games. These games, the only weather that would impact the first three games would be rain, because it's in the first part of the season, which is. Well, we're playing in the springtime, so and maybe we'll be playing a game in the snow in the spring. Late winter, early spring, so. For me, my season for Oklahoma State will start on Monday. We'll play our games. We'll play Oklahoma State's games. My team's games that I have for my team that I selected for. My team in Dynasty mode. Those games will be played on Monday. So Monday of the upcoming week, which will be the 18th. Uh, 25th, and then the first Monday in February, which is, I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see how we can do this season, next season, and all the seasons afterwards with this group of teams in the Dynasty mode. So Oklahoma State is one of the teams. Oklahoma State is one of the teams, of course, that we're going to feature every game. We're playing it as Oklahoma State, no matter what game it is, whether it's a regular season game, national championship game, bowl game, or regular season game. Simply because there's no Big 12 championship game in the game. There's one in the. If you want to play a Big 12 championship game in NCAA 14, all you have to do is either one of two things: add enough teams to create one in the Dynasty mode by adding teams to the Big 12, or play it in Play Now mode, exhibition Play Now mode in the game. That's how you play Big 12 championship game, and how you get it from Jerry World is you select it in the Dynasty mode or select it in the same selection in Play Now, and you can play it from one of the neutral side ones, and it will have the team's end zones plus no midfield logo, but that's okay. Unless you want the Cowboy Kickoff logo of the midfield or the Cotton Bowl logo of the midfield, you can do it that way too. So, yeah, so that's my main team. My favorite team is the team I selected, but that doesn't mean that's the only team I'm going to be playing and featuring on my channel for this Dynasty mode. We'll be playing other teams too, featuring other teams as well. So, but this is the main team that I selected, and that's my favorite. That's my main favorite team in college football in real life. So, that's that. So, but I'll feature multiple teams though, even. So, that'll do it for me until next time. We'll start this Dynasty mode up on Monday. So join us Monday for for Oklahoma State and Tulsa. Find out which uniform we're gonna wear. We're not gonna have one of the ones that's a team builder uniform. We'll have one of the uniform selections so it's default in the game. If you want to see us wear another team builder uniform, then we can show that in the Play Now mode against the team. So we'll have that on my channel as well in the springtime as well. So that'll do it, and until next time, this has been the YouTuber sign off. Until next time, keep on YouTube, everybody, and we'll see you next time.